Hello, class. Welcome again. Now we'll be talking about Chapter 15, Speaking to Inform. The next speech you will be giving in class is an informative speech. So I wanted to go over a few ideas for you about how you can present those speeches and what types of things you can be looking for when creating these speeches. There are 4 different types of informative speeches that you could possibly give. You'll need to choose one of these different types. The first would be giving a speech about an object. Next, speeches about processes. Third, speeches about events. And then fourth, a speech about a concept. Now, we'll go through each of those individually so you can learn a little bit more about what each of these types of speeches will be. An object speech. An object is anything that is visible, tangible, or in stable form. You could give a speech about your cell phone. You can give a speech about any kind of sporting equipment. Not about the game itself, but about the equipment. It has to be about the object. You could give a speech about the Eiffel Tower. So you have to find a thing that you can tell us about. Some examples that I've given you here are a speech about Legos, service dogs. You could also give a speech about a person, like Susan B. Anthony, a place, Disney World, or Faulkner University. So you'll find someone, something that you can tell us about and inform us about that. Okay, so those are speeches about objects. The next kind of speech would be a process speech. These are how-to speeches. A process is a step-by-step or systematic series of actions that leads to a specific result or product. Process speeches show the audience how to do or how to make something. Some examples that you might have here would be baking brownies or baking a cake, tying knots, how to make the perfect paper airplane. Any kind of speech that would be a how to do something. If you have a project you have going on at your house already, use it. Film yourself presenting it as a how-to video for us so that we can learn how to do something. If you're an artist, great topic for you to use would be show us how to make something that you are currently making. We may not be able to do it, but we can at least learn the process of how to do it. Okay, so these are really simple. The big tip that I need to give you for doing a process speech, though, is when you are working on your project, make sure you keep talking. Do not forget to speak, and do not forget to continue to relay the information to us and rely on us watching you. This is a speech, not a video for just watching, okay? Okay, the third type of speech would be a speech about an event. An event is considered to be anything that happens or is regarded as happening or has happened in the past even. Event speeches tell the audience about something that has occurred or is occurring. The Boston Marathon. Not necessarily talking about the history of the Boston Marathon, but that could be an aspect of it. But maybe going through what the steps of the Boston Marathon, how do you register, how do you get there, what's the trail, the pattern through the city going to be. You could give a speech on sleep deprivation and the steps that you go through getting through sleep deprivation. You could tell us about a Civil War battle or a World War II battle, any kind of battle will work. Or you could tell us about an event of cyber terrorism, not just informing us about that idea or that concept, but about an event of it happening. Okay? So these need to be time-oriented, and probably you're going to present them in chronological order. You also will be presenting your process speeches in a chronological order because we need to follow step by step how something goes through. Okay, and then finally, the last of our informative speeches would be a speech about a concept. Concepts are beliefs, theories, ideas, or notions, or principles, or something else along those lines. A concept speech will tell the audience about a particular abstract concept, something that is not tangible, something we can't touch. It's a thought. You could give us a speech on feng shui or numerology, the original intent doctrine, net neutrality, philosophies of education would be a great one. However, the one that I see most often in this class would be religious concepts. Those of you who are thinking of or intending to be preachers, this would be the type of speech you would want to give. You would want to convey to us a belief. Excuse me. You would not be trying to persuade us to believe that belief with you necessarily, because that's for your persuasive speech. However, this time you would just be telling us about a belief, a particular belief that people have. Hopefully it would be a belief that you have, not something that you're trying to let us know about that you don't believe in, unless you're wanting to follow it up in your persuasive speech by telling us about how that belief is not accurate. So, a speech about a concept is a fourth way that you could give us an informative speech. A few guidelines I have here for you for informative speaking. First off, do not overestimate what the audience knows. Don't treat us like we're infants, but not everybody has the same background knowledge and the same life that you have. What may seem natural and normal to you may be foreign and completely odd to us. So you need to make sure you give us all the information. Give us the details so that we can make sure that we understand what you're talking about. Don't assume that we know something. Next, make sure you relate the subject directly to the audience. These are a little harder to make sure it does relate to the audience because it's usually something that you enjoy and something that you're a part of, especially if it's a process speech, because you're not trying to necessarily connect with the audience when you're making something, but you need to. You need to make sure that whatever you're making, you'll make us want to know more about it. Don't be too technical. Avoid making things that or doing process speeches that are very, very technically difficult. It will be very hard for you to present it. Avoid abstractions. Make sure that you are staying on topic and that you are keeping us focused on what you're doing. Just stay with what is going on. Okay, a few things that will help you in presenting your speech is be very descriptive. Using good descriptions to describe people, events, and ideas with clarity and vividness. If you can tell us about something and paint it with your words, it will make it much more entertaining for us and much more enjoyable. And then the next two here go together, using comparisons and contrasts to make sure that we are following along with you. Present the similarities between two or more people, events, or ideas, or the differences between those things. So if you're presenting about a battle, let's say, you might want to also compare it to another battle that we already know about, that everybody understands and gets. Or you might want to contrast it, saying, this one was so much more than the first, or so much better than the first. A couple more tips. Personalize your ideas. Present your ideas in human terms that relate in some fashion to the experiences of the audience. Relate to the audience. I don't know that I can say this enough times. Please always, always, always relate to the audience. And then finally, last tip I have for you for your informative speech is be creative. Find a new way to reach your objective. Your objective is to inform us about something. So find creative ways to reach us. The best places to find those creative ways to engage us is going to be in your introduction and in your conclusion. Stories are an awesome way to be creative and to connect with your audience. Showing us something is a great way to get us interested. So telling us a story, telling us a simple, short joke, obviously you don't want to spend all of your time joking with us, but giving us a few different ideas and different ways to connect with you. Be creative in your ways to connect to us. Don't just start your speech by saying, today I'm going to tell you about whatever your topic is. Give us a more creative way. Get us connected. Okay? So I hope you enjoy making your informative speeches, and I look forward to seeing them.